The word listen contains the same letter as silent. Alfred Brendel once said, "This is your straight one-line quote of the day." Good day, my dear student. According to EnglishClub.com, listening is receiving language through the ears. It involves identifying the sounds of speech and processing them into words and sentences. Listening in any language requires focus and attention. It is a skill that some people need to work at harder than others. Let's see if you could apply the wisdom of Alfred Brendel and EnglishClub.com on listening. Promote active listening and proceed to the activities in your module afterwards, or listen further to the questions and choices, which are also in your module. Are you ready? I'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The Legend of the Pineapple. Ang alamat ng pinya. Pineapple grows abundantly in the Philippines and as popular as the banana. This is a Filipino legend about the pineapple based on a book of legends by F. Landa Hocano. Once upon a time, in the town of Arevalo in Iloilo province, there lived a widow named Kerok. She had a beautiful daughter, whom she spoiled to no end. The daughter was called Pinay. Whatever Pinay wanted, she got. Thus Pinay grew up into a very lazy, spoiled girl. One day, Kerok got sick. She asked her daughter to do the cooking for once. Young Pinay, with much displeasure, washed a handful of rice and placed it into a pot to cook. She then ran off to play. When Pinay returned, she found that the rice had burnt. Kerok was annoyed, and yet she comforted herself by the thought that at least Pinay did do what she was told. Kerok continued to be bedridden, which forced the resentful Pinay to do the housework. She would ask her mother for the minutest, most inconsequential things. Poor Kerok! She could not get a moment's peace or proper rest. One evening, while cooking in the kitchen, Pinay noticed that the ladle was missing. Pinay did try to look for the ladle everywhere, but she could not find it, so she went to her mother to demand the whereabouts of the ladle. But the mother cried out, "I wish you had many eyes so that you could find at once what you are looking for, Pinay." Pinay, rather shameful, did not answer and just went downstairs to look for the ladle once more. Night fell. Kerok waited and waited for Pinay, but she did not come up. She was not in the kitchen either. Kerok called out, but no one answered. After a few more days, Kerok got better. So thinking that Pinay was just probably sulking somewhere and would not come home, Kerok went to her neighbors to ask them. She asked them if they had seen Pinay. Alas, no one had seen Pinay. Kerok was inconsolable with grief. She remembered Pinay and realized that the plant must be her daughter. She cried and cried until she heard the plant talking. "I am Pinay, your daughter, who the gods transformed into a plant when you wished it. You may weep and weep, but I can never again return to you. Take the fruit, however, and eat it. This way, you will remember me. Ever since, the plant was called Piña, in honor of Pinay, the girl who was turned into a plant that bears fruit with many eyes. I am finished reading to you the text. You may either listen further to this audio for the questions and options, or go back to the module because the questions and options are also provided there. Item 1. What must be the focus of the legend you've listened to? A. Value and utilize properly your God-given gifts. B. Mind the mother's anger towards her lazy daughter. C. Teach people about humans' weaknesses and strengths. D. Love shouldn't come as a surprise, rather a natural thing felt. Item number 2. Why do you think the mother lost her patience with her daughter? A. Pinay always listened to her mother's requests. B. She loved to relax but still listened to what her mother would tell her. C. She would rather sell stuff in the market than do household chores. D. She failed to listen to her mom's silent plea, especially when the mother was sick. Item number 3. What would have prevented the conflict between the mother and the daughter? A. Pinay could have just listened to her dying mother's last wish. B. She could have asked for a relative to stay with her sick mother. C. She could have listened and let her mother slave her all the time. D. She could have practiced good listening skill and follow her mother. Items 4 and 5. To avoid similar conflict, one must possess effective listening skills. Identify the 2 items that demonstrate these skills. I repeat, identify the 2 items that demonstrate these skills. A. Do not listen to people who are not good to you. Fairness must be observed. B. Able yourself to accurately receive and interpret messages in the communication process. C. Ignore the things that you heard, especially those that hurt your feelings, to maintain good working relationship. D. Paying attention to the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors of the other person by seeing things through their eyes while you listen. I am done with this text. You still have 2 more texts to listen to. Meantime, go back to your module and follow the sequence of activities there. Have a nice day ahead. I'm done with this text. Still have 2 more texts to listen to. Meantime, go back to your module and follow the sequence of the activities there. Have a nice day ahead.